Srimad Bhagwad Maha Puran. Chapter 3.
Vidura warns Dhritarashtra. Sri Shukdeva says, O Parikshit, Vidura deserted his homely comforts and luxuries because he had to protest against injustice. When, after losing in the game of dice, the Pandavas successfully passed the period of their exile and stay in guise, and were denied even then of their rightful share in the kingdom, Vidura was summoned for consultations. Vidura had then suggested Dhritarashtra thus, O king, if you wish to save your family, you please abandon Duryodhan, who is an embodiment of all the evils. He is jealous of none other than Lord Krishna. That is why you are getting dull day by day and losing your radiance. These words infuriated Duryodhan so much so that he began to abusively insult Vidura. But Vidura didn't mind his words even though he felt seriously hurt at heart. Accepting his insult as a play of God, Vidura silently left Hastinapur and went on a pilgrimage. Vidura comes to know about Kaurva's destruction. Traveling through various pilgrimage places, Vidura reached Prabhas region where he got the news of total destruction of the Kauravas. The news deeply moved him. In search of solace, he continued to wander from one place of pilgrimage to another place. During his wandering, when he reached the banks of the river Yamuna, Vidura met Uddhava, the selfless and calm server of God. They both met affectionately and inquired about the well-being of each other. They were both reflecting on the place of Lord Krishna and feeling extreme joy. Vidura had also got the news of departure of Lord Krishna to his abode and destruction of Yadvas by fierce infightings. So he was extremely depressed also. Uddhava told him that Lord Krishna himself had bestowed his grace on him and preached Bhagavad Janana, which he had once preached to Lord Brahma. By the dictate of Lord, Uddhava was going to Badrikasharma. So he suggested Vidura to see Maitreya for the metaphysical knowledge, for before departing. 828. To his abode, Lord Krishna had dictated him, Maitreya, to preach Bhagavad to Vidura. As per the suggestion, Vidura reached Haridwar and saw the sage Maitreya on the banks of the river Ganges. The pious Vidura respectfully greeted the sage Maitreya and said, O Lord, the people in this world perform various actions with a desire to have pleasure. But neither do they get pleasure nor is their sorrow removed. Their sorrow increases instead. What is good then, is this context. O great among the sages, kindly preach me the way to peace, following which, one meets the God who then takes abode in the heart of his devotee and instills in him the Santan Gyan, eternal knowledge, that lets the devotee feel the direct presence of him. Thus asked with devotion by Vidura, Mahatma Maitreya illuminated the glory of God and other events like creation of universe by illusion and origin of Colossus body, and said, no one can measure the eternal glory of God and the illusions created by Him. In the beginning, God created the primitive elements and the flaws associated with them. Then He created the Colossus universe and entered it. Description of 10 ways creation by Maitreya. 1. By the inspiration of God and because of imbalance in pious virtues, creation of Mahatattva, the soul, was the first. Mahatattva, the soul. 2. From Mahatattva, the soul, originates Ahankar, the ego, which generates 5 primitive elements: the earth, the fire, the air, the water and the ether, sense organs and motor organs. 3. Group of Tanmatras, the subtle forms of matter that generate the 5 major elements, is the third creation. 4. Creation of organs that have the power of sensing and moving is the fourth creation. 5. Creation of the mind that governs the senses and was appeared from ego is the fifth creation. 829. 6. Appearance of mind and the illusions that misguide it is the sixth creation. 7. The above mentioned 6 creations are known as natural creations also. Creatures other than these 6 have no power of knowledge, they can experience the touch only. These creatures, like trees and other vegetables, are known as the seventh creation. 8. Eighth creation is of the birds and animals. 9. Ninth creation is of those human beings who seek pleasure in action and luxuries, which are in fact the cause of sorrow. 10. Tenth creation is of the great sages like Sanat Kumar, etc. Thus, at the beginning of the Kalpa, God the Creator used Rajas Gunas, royal virtues, to create Himself in the form of the universe. Maitreya ji says, this whole creation is a manifestation of the place of God. That omnipotent God created the universe just by His wish and for the sake of His play. For the extension of the creation, Lord Brahma wished and create 4 sons, Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan and Sanat Kumar. Thereafter, with a desire to create world, Lord Brahma ordered them to produce population. But Lord Brahma's sons had no interest in worldly affairs. Lord Brahma therefore cursed them to remain in children's form forever. Then from Lord Brahma's eyebrows appeared a baby, lurid in color. The baby appeared in 11 forms and began to cry immediately after his arrival. Lord Brahma consoled him. Don't cry, my son, you will be named as Rundra. So the 11 forms of the baby came to be known as 11 Rundras. Rundranis, female Rundra, were also created. From Tamas Prakriti, malignant nature, Rundra created the ghosts, the spooks, the specters, the devils, lamias, etc. Afraid by their appearances, Lord Brahma prayed Rudra, O Mahadev, please stop creating such formidable organisms. They are already enough in number. Now, you please undertake penance to comfort all the creatures. Thereafter, Lord Brahma created 10 more sons, Marichi, Bhrigu, Kratu, Pula, Pulatsya, Angira, Atri, Vashishtha, Daksha and Narda. 9 out of them took permission for the creation of their 830 offsprings, but Narda accepted celibacy and resolved to preach Bhagavad Bhakti, devotion for God. For the continuation of the creation, Lord himself appeared as a female from the left hand and as a male from the right hand of Lord Brahma. Those males and females forms were named Manu and Shatrupa respectively. They were the first in the whole creation to copulate and bring about sexual reproduction. They begot 2 sons, Priyavrat and Uttanapad, and 3 daughters, Devhuti, Akuti and Prasuti. As the primitive king, Manu was the fosterer of the earth. By then a demon named Hiranyaksh abducted the earth and hid it under the abysmal depth of the ocean, causing worries for Lord Brahma. Instantly Lord appeared himself in Varha, boar, incarnation, and to do away with Lord Brahma's worries, he at once entered the depth of the ocean and rescued the earth on his long teeth. On the way the Lord had an encounter with Hiranyaksh and killed the demon with his wheel. Maitreya says Hiranyaksh represented anger. Those who don't want to discharge their duties but still wish to live with all the comforts are abductors of others' wealth. Such people who continuously interfere with equal distribution of wealth must be condemned as the demons. On the origin of the demons, Maitreya Cryptic said, once Diti, the wife Maharshi Kashyapa, expressed her desire to conceive. Maharshi Kashyapa tried to dissuade her that time was not suitable for an auspicious job like conception. But Diti kept on insisting and forced her husband shamelessly to assist her in the process. Consequently, she conceived during the dusk. Kashyapaji cautioned her, "You will give birth to the demons." And with the arrival of the demons in Diti's womb, nature began to manifest herself adversely. There was terror and famine all around, and darkness prevailed even during day, with stars appearing in the sky. Frightened by these manifestations, the gods asked Lord Brahma about the reason of all those disturbances. Lord Brahma informed them that 2 demons were to take birth from Diti. Those 831. 2 demons, told Lord Brahma, were the 2 gatekeepers, Jai of the Lord's abode. Once, Sankadi Kumar had gone to Vakuntham, God's abode, to see God, but those two gatekeepers didn't let them in. Sankadi tried thrice, but only to be stopped every time by those two gatekeepers at the gates. Hence, Sankadi Kumar cursed them to take birth on earth as demons. Those two gatekeepers of God's abode Javijay appeared first as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, second time as Ravana and Kumbhakuran, and third time as Duntavakra and Shishupal. Sage Kardam. Continuing the process of creation, Brahma produced sage Kardam from his shadow and asked him to observe penance first. Thereafter, Brahma dictated Kardam to acquire physical strength and the strength of his sense and undertake the process of creating his offsprings. As per his father's dictate, Kardam observed severe penance. Pleased by his selfless penance, God asked Kardam to seek a boon. Kardam said, Lord, all the things in the world are ephemeral, only you are eternal. It will be an abuse of the intelligence to beg for some ephemeral thing from an eternal God. Overwhelmed by Kardam's plain words, God said in benediction, on the third day from now you will be married to Dehuti, the daughter of Manu. 9 daughters will take birth in your home. I will myself appear as your son. Saying this, God disappeared. As per the boon, Kardam got married to Devhuti, the daughter of Manu. Their formal marriage was the first of its kind in the creation, adopted as a religiously accepted means for continuation of life. Donating their daughter Devhuti to the sage Kardam, Manu and Shatrupa returned to their abode. As Mata Parvati used to serve Lord Shiva, similarly Devhuti served Kardam with dedication. Once the sage Kardam noticed that Devhuti has aged and shriveled by harsh living. Pleased by her dedication, Kardam asked her to seek a boon. Devhuti only begged that there should never be any lethargy in any service on her part towards him. Pleased again by her pure feelings, Kardam provided her with 832 heavenly luxuries. Together they enjoyed those luxuries for many years, during which 9 daughters were born to them. All those daughters symbolized the Navada Bhakti, 9 kinds of devotion, and were married to 9 Prajapatis like Marichi, etc. Thus Kala was married to Marichi, Anusuya to Atri, Shraddha to Angira, Havirbhu to Pulatsya, Gati to Pula, Shanti to Atharva, Krita to Kratu, Khyati to Gregu, and Arundhati was married to the sage Vashishtha. Lord Kapila. Married life of Kardam and Devhuti is a lesson for all the civilized couples of the world. Abiding to the limits of human behavior in married life is a guarantee for the well-being of the couple. Without religion and morality, a man is not more than an animal. Kardam and Devhuti followed strict rules to welcome the arrival of eternal God. Thus, in due time, God appeared as their son. With his arrival, the gods showered flowers. Lord Brahma, along with his sons, welcomed the god and said, O pious daughter of Manu, Sri Hari has arrived as your son. He will destroy the lust and illusion and will preach his own philosophy. He will be known in the world as Kapila. Worshipping the Lord Kapila, sage Kardam said, O Lord, by your grace, I am free now from all the three obligations and all my desires are now granted. With these words, Kardam took to asceticism. Lord Kapila preaches metaphysical knowledge to Devhuti. Mata Devhuti prayed Lord Kapila to preach the way for the benefaction of the soul, which is attached with ephemeral body. Lord said, O Mother, Adhyatma Yoga, spiritual conjugation, is the main way of benefaction for the human beings. With devotion for me, soul becomes self-knowing. Total devotion of the soul in my form and virtues and listening my tales unmistakably show devotion. This leads to an inseparable rapport between my devotee and me. This is the greatest benefaction for the humans. 833. The world is like an ocean of death, and I cause salvation of those who give up all their lusts and recite my name with fervent devotion. This whole nature has different forms, but it is ephemeral and constantly changing. It has 24 divisions, 5 major elements: ether, air, fire, water and earth, 5 souls, sound, touch, appearance, fluid and smell, 5 sense organs, eyes, nose, ears, tongue and skin, 5 motor organs, mouth, hands, legs, penis and bones, and mind, intelligence, conscience and ego. That omnipresent Purusha, an epithet of God, voluntarily accepted Prakriti, an epithet for female force. From her various virtues, Prakriti created various creatures that corresponded exactly to the virtues that caused their creation. In the mess, the mantle that covered the knowledge also caused illusion for the Jivatma, microcosm of omnipotent spirit, which thus forgot his original appearance. The creature then began to assume the nature as a reflection of his own appearance, though she is different from and opposite to him, and himself as the doer. Such an ego regarding one's duties leads to his entanglement in the cycles of life and death. Differentiating between the Prakriti and Purusha and experiencing their real appearances respectively, introspecting sages have had a sight of the Supreme Being through their conscience and achieved the unparalleled Brahmapada. Lord Kapila says, through the union of the sperm and the ovum, the human body appears as a lump in the womb. His body forms completely within 6 months. Sense organs develop thereafter. 25th element, the soul, then enters the human body. With that, the body begins to experience hunger and thirst. Then, suffering with many kinds of desires, the microcosm prays me to save him from the tortures of staying in the womb. I present him with a sight of me in his heart. It then takes birth because of my grace. But as soon as it appears on the earth, the human being begins to forget me. Still, I present him with my sight for 2 to 3 months more, when he begins to laugh. But people around him think that he is laughing for his mother. Nobody reminds him of me in his childhood. Youth of a human being passes in futile activities. In old age is 834. Organs begin to fail, and a human being finds himself unable to recite my name. Thus, the whole life of a human being just passes in the illusion of I, me, and my, and he reaches his last stage and begins to realize his mistake. But then it is usually too late for him to do anything for his benefaction. If he has done any good deed in life, he may meet fortune, but without a devotion for me, no one can be happy. Only when the soul comes in my refuge, he gets free from the bondages of life and death. Maitre says, O Vidura, thereafter Devhuti concentrated her mind in the divine appearance of Sri Hari, as presented by Lord Kapila. At once, she got free from all the sufferings. She got a sight of God in her conscience, and her body transformed into a holy river. The place where Mata Devhuti received salvation is still known as Siddhipada. It is a renowned place of pilgrimage. Fourth chapter.